Warm greetings, my dear friends. Let us begin with today's lecture, wherein we are going to talk about the basic details or the basics of the concept of aptitude. So, what do we mean by aptitude? One, we will look into this. Then, we will look into the important terms which are related to this concept of aptitude. For example, achievement, interest, ability, skills, etc. So, how these terms are related to the term of aptitude. And then we will also look into the aptitude which is required for being a civil servant. So these are the three subtopics that we will deal in this particular lecture. Okay, so let us get started. Now, as far as the definition or the meaning of this term aptitude is concerned, let me start by asking you a very simple question. For example, if you compare you with your friend, if you take you and your friend as an example, and if I ask you whether the ability with which you and your friend can solve a question or a problem of maths, do you people have the same amount of ability in solving a problem of maths? Or if I ask you the same question, but I change the area wherein I'm comparing you two individuals, and if I ask you a question whether you and your friend, do you complete a 500 or let's say a 100-meter sprint race in the same amount of time? The answer for both of these questions invariably, generally be no. It would be no in general. It means, it shows that there's a difference in the ability that you have to solve the questions of maths. There's a difference in the ability that you have for running. And this particular difference is nothing but your aptitude. So based upon your aptitude, for example, you have a better aptitude in solving the questions of mathematics, whereas your friend has a better aptitude, or he has an aptitude in sprinting or 100-meter sprint. So what does aptitude actually mean? What does it actually signify? So actually, this term aptitude, it comes from the root word. The root word of this term is aptus, and which means fitted for. It means fitted for. So the root word for aptitude is aptus, which means fitted for, or it also means adaptness. Adaptness. It means which is the task that you are better suited for. Which particular thing can you do in a better way? That is the meaning of aptitude. So we all know that different people, everyone cannot do a particular task with the same amount of precision, or everyone cannot be better at the same task. You are better in a particular task or a particular job. Your friend or your brother or sister is different from you, and he or she or they are better in their own sets of areas, in their own set of jobs, etc., in their own skills. So this is the difference in the sense of difference in aptitude. You can excel in a particular area, in that particular area where you have an aptitude. And aptitude, basically speaking, traditionally it was understood that aptitude is basically an innate capability or an innate capacity, that is it is there by virtue of birth. So by virtue of birth you have an ability, or you have a type of ability, so that you can learn a particular skill very easily. That is the meaning of aptitude. So it comes from the root word aptus, which means adaptness or fitted for. Which is the task, which is the job, which is the skill that you are more fitted for. For example, after the 10th examination, what happens generally in India, and especially in the tier 2, tier 3 and the rural India, is that based upon your marks which you have attained in 10th examination, that is the sole criteria for the selection of subject in 11th class. Actually, what should be happening is that based upon your aptitude, you should be given the or you should be you should be made to choose a particular subject based upon your aptitude, not based upon your marks in 10th examination. And this is a problem that is there in Indian education system, that we do not give importance to aptitude. So aptitude, if you know my aptitude, then you will be able to better guide me as to which is that particular area, what is that vocation, what is that particular job in which I will make a better future, because there is an innate capability within me. I am more fitted to do that particular kind of job because I have an aptitude in that. So aptitude in any particular activity. So it means that, for example, if you have an aptitude in mathematics, that is, if you have a better quantitative aptitude, for example, your paper number 2 in prelims examination, CSAT paper, the word there is Civil Services Aptitude Test. So in that particular paper, what you are being is basically asked, you are basically being asked about questions related to mathematics, logical reasoning, comprehension, reading comprehension, etc. So therein it is trying to test the skills or the ability that you have. You must have certain aptitude so as to become a civil servant. And according to the Public Service Commission, that is the way to test your aptitude. So if you know comprehension, if you know aptitude, if you know logical reasoning, if you know language, then you are better suited for the job of a civil servant. So aptitude is related to a particular job. Therefore, it is said that everyone cannot do a job very well. There are certain people who are better in a particular profession. And why these people are better in a particular profession? Again, there are multiple reasons. One such reason is that they have an aptitude in that profession. So, for example, if you have, let's say, aptitude in mathematics, that does not mean that you will necessarily also have aptitude in running. You might only be having aptitude in maths, but you might not be having aptitude in running. Therefore, after your 10th examination, for example, if I am a career counselor and if I have devised a certain test or a tool through which I can measure or test your aptitude, then I will know that you have an aptitude in maths. Therefore, I will not recommend you to choose sports after your 10th examination. And I would rather make you choose a discipline, let's say maths, like mathematics. So, this is the importance of aptitude. Aptitude is basically related to how well you can learn a particular skill. If you can learn a particular skill very well, that shows you have an inherent or innate potential in that particular field. For example, if let's say an iron smith has 2 children, now that iron smith will take only 1 child along with him to the site that he has, or he will only take 1 child to his factory. He deliberately does not take the other child with him to this factory. Why? Because he has observed and he has come to know that the first child, he does not have this innate capability. He does not have this inherent capability, this innate potential. He is not fitted. He does not have the adaptness in that particular profession. And then also through observation, he has found out that the second child has an aptitude in this particular trade, which is the trade of ironsmith. Therefore, he takes this particular child along with him to his factory because he does not want to waste his and the time of his child. Therefore, he has identified that one particular out of 2 children that he has, he has found out that only one of them has an aptitude in this particular trade. Therefore, it will be better if I give him certain skills. If I train him, then he will be a better ironsmith. So, this is the importance of aptitude and this is the meaning of aptitude. Clear? Now, the definition of aptitude is this, which is, it is the pronounced innate capacity for or ability in a given line of endeavor or in a given line of skill or job or profession or task. In a given line of endeavor, what is this endeavor? This could be a skill, it could be a job, it could be a profession, or it could be a task. In a given line of endeavor, such as a particular art, subject, or vocation. Vocation means profession, job, etc. So this is the definition of aptitude. So in 2-marker question, if there's a question regarding aptitude, or if the question asks you to define aptitude, this is what you have to write. And this is how the understanding of aptitude becomes clear. So in this particular definition, there are some key words which are, first is innate capacity. That means that it is innate in nature, that is, it is by virtue of birth. So you might have better aptitude in maths, but your sister might be having better aptitude in language. Now this is based upon birth, this is by birth. Even without, let's say, training, even without any kind of tuitions, you score better in maths, but she scores better in her language paper, Hindi and English, let's say, for our consideration for people of North and Central India. So she scores better in language and you score better in maths, even without any kind of tuition, even without any kind of training. Why? This is your aptitude. So you will be said to be having an aptitude in maths and she would be termed to be having an aptitude in language. So it is an innate capacity. It is an innate capacity for a particular endeavor, for a particular job, skill, profession or work, and an endeavor, such as examples of these endeavors are any art, any subject or any vocation. So what particular subject you are good in, what task can you do with much amount of precision, with much efficiency, that is based upon one factor, which is aptitude. So again, something which has to be highlighted, which has to be marked, is that a task that, for example, you are very good at, one factor, the one reason why you are good at a particular task is aptitude. It is not the only reason. It is not the only reason. It is one important reason. For example, let's say there can be a situation wherein you have an aptitude in, let's say, maths, but you are lazy. That means you have an attitude problem. You do not practice, and this is how you will not be able to you will not be able to score good in maths. On the contrary, you know that your sister is not good in maths, but even then she has scored better in maths. Why? Because even though she does not have the required aptitude, but then she has she has invested huge amount of time in practicing the questions of mathematics, and that is how you can see a difference between your and her marks in the mathematics paper. So even though she lacks an aptitude in mathematics, she has become better than you in as far as the scoring of marks is concerned. So for example, if you are witnessing a person who is better in a particular job, one reason could be aptitude, but it is not the only factor. If, for example, you have a problem of aptitude, even though you have a good aptitude in that particular area, you will not be able to succeed. You will not be successful in that particular area. So the reason is not aptitude, but reason is attitude. So if you are successful in a particular activity, if you are doing a particular activity very well, one reason could be attitude. One reason could be aptitude, apart from other reasons as well. For example, other reason is also attitude. Attitude also determines whether you will be successful, whether you do a particular activity in a good manner or not. So attitude is one important factor. I hope I am clear. So this is the definition of attitude. Now let us look into the important terms or the terminologies which are related to this term of aptitude. The first term is interest. So how aptitude is related to interest? Now see, aptitude is innate. Interest necessarily is not innate in nature. You develop interest based upon your exposure. You develop interests on various things, or in various things. So for example, based upon your experience, if you come across different things, if you have a varied experience, you might catch up different interests. And if your experience is limited, you might end up not developing interests in a wide variety of fields. So your interest is not necessarily innate, whereas aptitude is innate, that is, it is by birth. Second is that aptitude in general is long lasting. You have an aptitude in a particular thing, you will keep on to have that particular aptitude, whereas interest is fickle. It means interest is short lived. It means you have an interest in a particular activity today, you might develop an interest in another activity tomorrow. आज इसमें इंटरेस्ट, कल उसमें इंटरेस्ट, ऐसा हो सकता है. So this means that this is the second difference between aptitude and interest. Aptitude, one, is innate, and second, it is generally long lasting. Whereas interest, it is not necessarily innate. It keeps on changing. It is based upon, or it is influenced by experience. It is dependent upon your experience. And second, it is short lived in comparison to aptitude. Then the next term is, let's take this intelligence. Now intelligence is the ability, how intelligent you are. What do we say? How intelligent you are. और एप्टीट्यूड का मतलब क्या है कि आप किस काम को कितना बेहतर कर सकते हो, या किस काम को आप कितना बेहतर सीख सकते हो, जल्दी किस काम को सीख के आप कौन सा काम बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से कर पाओगे. तो इंटरेस्ट जो है वो प्रेजेंट से रिलेटेड है कि आप अभी आपके पास हाउ मच अमाउंट ऑफ नॉलेज यू हैव, हाउ इंटेलिजेंट यू आर. सो इंटेलिजेंट इज रिलेटेड टू प्रेजेंट, whereas aptitude is related to future. That means it is related to future. का मतलब क्या है? What is aptitude? कि आपके अंदर inherent skills है, inherent potential है कि आप ये काम बहुत बढ़िया सीख जाओगे. तो आपको थोड़ी सी ही ट्रेनिंग अगर मैं प्रोवाइड करूं, तो थोड़ी सी ट्रेनिंग लेके आप ये काम बहुत बढ़िया करने लग जाओगे. That is the meaning of aptitude. So aptitude is related to future, whereas intelligence is related to प्रेजेंट, कि आप आज कितने इंटेलिजेंट हो. और एप्टीट्यूड है कि नहीं, इससे क्या डिटरमाइन होगा कि आप वो काम कितना अच्छा कर पाओगे. तो फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर मेरे पास दो लोग आ रहे हैं और इन दो लोगों में से किसी एक लोग को मुझे नौकरी पे रखना है, तो मैं अगर ये टेस्ट कर लूं कि किसके पास ये इनेट पोटेंशियल है कि ये काम बेहतर सीख जाएगा, तो ताकि मेरा खर्चा ट्रेनिंग के ऊपर क्या होगा, कम होगा, तो मैं कम खर्चे में एक आदमी रख सकता हूं. तो दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ aptitude. It means it is related to future, whereas so intelligence is related to the present, whereas aptitude is related to future. So this is the comparison and contrast between intelligence and aptitude. Now the next term is this, which is achievement. Let us now compare achievement with aptitude. Now see, achievement is related to past. Achievement denotes what? What is achievement? What is the question that I will ask you? What have you achieved? It means what have you done in the past? What has been your achievement until this time? So achievement is related to past, whereas this aptitude is, again, we saw previously that aptitude is related to future. So in this particular contrast, in this comparison, intelligence and aptitude, what did we say? That interest is related to present and aptitude is related to future. Whereas in comparison between aptitude and achievement, what will we say? That achievement is related not to present, because intelligence is related to present, how intelligent you are now. Whereas achievement is related to future, what have you achieved so far. And aptitude is the same in both of these things. So aptitude is related to future. What skill can you learn quickly? That determines, that is based upon your aptitude. So your aptitude is based upon, or it is related to your future. It is related to future, whereas achievement is related to the past. So this is the difference between achievement and aptitude. Then let us now take into consideration these two words, which are ability and skills. Now see, ability, like intelligence, it is also related to the present. It is also related to present. How able you are, what can you do now? So I have an ability in this particular thing. I am able to do this. I can do this. This means it is related to it. This is a concept which is in present. It is related to the present. And similarly, aptitude is related to the future. आप किस स्किल को कितना बढ़िया सीख के किस काम को कितना अच्छा कर सकते हो, दैट इज योर एप्टीट्यूड. नाउ इफ यू add practice, if you add practice to skills, this is what you get. If you add practice to ability, I'm sorry, what you get is skills. So what are skills? Skills are those things that you have towards a particular activity. So you have skills if you have certain aptitude. If you want to be skillful in a particular activity, if you want to be skillful in a particular task, what you will have to do is you will have to add. So if you add practice to ability, this is what gives you skills. For example, see, there are people who know how to swim and there are people who know how to drive. But then, can you say that every person who knows how to drive or who knows how to swim is a skilled driver or a skilled swimmer? Obviously no. So if you, for example, so it means that people are able to drive. There are people who can drive. There are people who can swim. So it means this is ability. But then if you include practice, so if people who can drive, if they practice rightly, if they practice well, people who can swim, if they swim in the right direction, in the right manner, and if they do the practice of right type of swimming, then these are the people who will become, so their ability will now be transformed into their skills, and then I will say that he is a skilled driver or she is a skilled swimmer. So if you add practice to the ability is something which you can do. So if you add practice with ability, if you combine practice with ability, then this becomes the concept of skill. So ability is related to present, whereas aptitude is related to the future. And then what are these skills? So if you have an aptitude in a particular thing, and then you put in with it, if you add with it the right amount of right kind of training and practice, then you can become a skillful person or you can develop skills in that particular area. Clear? So if you have an aptitude, for example, if you have an aptitude in a particular thing, then this will mean that you can develop better skills. Again, but this does not necessarily mean that if, for example, let's say there are two individuals, एक आदमी का अगर हमने एप्टीट्यूड का टेस्ट निकाला, अगर किसी तरीके से हम आगे वी हैव टू टॉक अबाउट द टेस्ट्स ऑफ एप्टीट्यूड, तो अगर हमने किसी तरीके से एप्टीट्यूड का टेस्ट निकाला और हमने एक स्कोर पाया और इसमें देखा कि इंडिविजुअल ए का लेट्स से एप्टीट्यूड में स्कोर आया है 40 आउट ऑफ 100 और इंडिविजुअल बी का एप्टीट्यूड में स्कोर आया है लेट्स से 80 आउट ऑफ 100. अभी अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि अब ये बताओ कि इन दोनों में से कौन सा आदमी ज्यादा स्किलफुल बन पाएगा या ज्यादा बेहतर स्किल्स किस आदमी के होंगे. तो अभी तक जो हमने समझा है, क्योंकि हमने ये समझा कि स्किल्स अगर आपको बेहतर डेवलप करने हैं तो एप्टीट्यूड जो है वो होना चाहिए, तो मैं ये बोलूंगा कि वो आदमी जिसका स्कोर 80 है वो ज्यादा स्किल्ड पर्सन होगा या वो ज्यादा स्किलफुल हो पाएगा बजाय पहले आदमी के जिसका स्कोर एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट में आया था 40. लेकिन ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. मतलब ये कॉन्सेप्ट वैसा ही है जैसा हमने बोला कि एटीट्यूड जो है वो डिटरमाइन करता है बिहेवियर को. मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स योर बिहेवियर इज इन अकॉर्डेंस विद योर एप्टीट्यूड, बट दिस इज नॉट अ यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ. दैट मीन्स I am saying most of the time, I am not saying in every situation. It means there can be situations, there are times wherein your behavior is in contrast or it is in contradiction with your attitude. There's a divergence between your attitude and your behavior. Similarly, a person who has scored 80 in the aptitude test might not become skilled or might be less skilled in comparison to another individual, another aspirant who had scored 40 in his aptitude test. Why? One reason could be practice. Another reason could be attitude. So the person who had scored 80, he does not have the right kind of attitude. and that is the reason why he is not able to develop better skills, why he is not skilled in comparison to that individual who had scored less than him in the aptitude test. And another reason could be practice. So there could be, so for example, the race between rabbit and this, what was that race? Race between kachua or khargosh ki ladai. So that tortoise or turtle and that rabbit, race between these two people. Inherently we know the fact that aptitude, अगर हम देखें तो running में aptitude किसका है? खरगोश का, लेकिन जीता जो है उसमें कौन? कछुआ। तो क्यों हुआ ऐसा? सक्सेस यहाँ पे किस पे डिपेंड कर रही है? एप्टीट्यूड पे नहीं, बल्कि किस पे डिपेंड की? कंसिस्टेंसी पे, मतलब एटीट्यूड पे। तो यहाँ पे एटीट्यूड जो गड़बड़ हुआ खरगोश का, उसके कारण ही लॉस्ट टू, अदरवाइज दैट ही लॉस्ट टू दिस, ही लॉस्ट टू द टॉर्टोइस, जो कि उसके पास एप्टीट्यूड नहीं था या कम था उसके कंपैरिजन में, तब भी वो रेस हार गया। रीजन हियर इज नॉट एप्टीट्यूड, रीजन हियर इज एटीट्यूड। तो इस कॉन्वर्जेशन से, इस बात से हमको एक चीज और समझ में आ गई, वो ये कि इफ यू वांट टू बी सक्सेसफुल इन लाइफ, देन द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ both of these things is very important. Attitude, right kind of attitude, and enough amount of aptitude. If you combine these two A's, then you get the success. So aptitude plus attitude, both of these things are important. You cannot compromise on any of them. For example, if you take an individual, for example, if you are a recruiter, if you are recruiting people in your organization, and if you recruit someone who has good attitude, he has the right kind of attitude, he has the attitude of professionalism, he is loyal to the organization, but he does not have the aptitude. So the organization is wasting huge amount of money and resource upon providing him the training. But even though after providing the training, even though you provide him whatever type of training you are providing him, even though he is not, despite this fact, he is not able to become skillful employee. This is a wastage of resource. So this is not wanted. We do not want this situation. Plus, we also do not want a situation wherein the individual or your employee, he has the aptitude, right kind of aptitude. He is very skillful, but then he does not have the right kind of attitude. For example, he is not serious about his job. And this results into, let's say, he coming in late, or he not being on time, and regular breaks and regular offs from the work. So it means that if you want to be successful in life, you must have a combination of attitude, right kind of attitude, and good amount of aptitude. Clear? So these are the related terms. Now at last, if we talk about the requirement of aptitude for a civil servant, what kind of aptitude do we want in our civil servants? क्या उसमें aptitude होनी चाहिए? किस तरीके के, अगर किस तरीके के potential, innate potential उसका किन चीजों में होना चाहिए? इसका मतलब, if you देखो, तो अभी हमको ये समझ में आ गया है कि एप्टीट्यूड का सीधा संबंध किससे है? स्किल से है। कौन सा आदमी बेहतर स्किल सीख पाएगा या बेहतर, ज्यादा स्किल्ड होगा? वो जिसके पास उस पर्टिकुलर चीज में क्या होगा? एप्टीट्यूड। तो अगर मैं यहां पे रिप्लेस कर दूं एप्टीट्यूड फॉर सिविल सर्वेंट को, अगर मैं एक सेकंड के लिए अगर इसको रिप्लेस कर दूं स्किल से, कि कौन से स्किल्स जो है सिविल सर्वेंट में होने चाहिए, तो अब ये तीन स्किल्स जो है ये समझना, ये तीन जो एप्टीट्यूड है ये समझना बड़ा आसान है। ही मस्ट हैव द मॉरल स्किल्स, दैट मींस ही मस्ट हैव दोज स्किल्स थ्रू व्हिच he can identify the difference between right and wrong. The difference between right and wrong. It is very important for the civil servant to have moral competence, to have moral skills, to have moral aptitude, and that is how he will be able to take the ethically correct decisions. If his moral compass is tilted, if his moral compass is not set right, then this is a very dangerous proposition. You will have these civil servants who will not be able to take ethical decisions, and this is a very dangerous proposition for the society as a whole. So we want our civil servants to be moral. That is, we want our civil servants to take moral decisions for which they must have moral aptitude. And then we also want our civil servants to have intellectual skills, To have intellectual aptitude, it means to have intellectual skills. Essentially, a civil servant is a servant of the people. He is serving the people. The people are masters. Citizens are the masters. And how do you want your servant to be? Your servant, you want your servant to have a little amount of brain. Civil servants, they essentially need to understand the problems of people, their masters, and then come out with various solutions or innovative solutions to eliminate those problems or difficulties or challenges. So for these two things to be, for the civil servant to be able to do these two things, he must have certain intellectual skills or he must have intellectual aptitude. How can you imagine a situation wherein a civil servant is not able to find out the actual problem? Because at times what happens, for example, you might think that problem exists in society. दो लोग लड़ रहे हैं, दो कौमों के बीच में झगड़ा है, ये तो समाज की लड़ाई है. नहीं, problem actually lies in economy. For that, you must be intellectually aware. You must have a more intellectual competence, intellectual skills to understand where the problem actually lies. And then you must come out with innovative solutions. So for that, for a civil servant to be effective in delivering better quality of goods and services, to be effective in providing services and being effective in the as an instrument of change, for being a good civil servant, he or she must have intellectual skills. And then at last you have, he or she must be emotionally, or he must have emotional aptitude or emotional skills. It means emotional skills means he must have the skills to deal with emotions. To deal with emotions. And this nothing is the concept of emotional intelligence. This is the concept of emotional intelligence, because essentially a civil servant is dealing with human beings, and human beings are not always rational. It means as far as the behavior of a human is concerned, his behavior is not guided entirely by rationality, whereas in majority of these situations he takes decisions not on the basis of rationality but on the basis of pure emotions. Clear? So it means a civil servant is dealing with these emotive beings. And if you want to deal with emotive beings, and if you want to deal with them effectively, you must have emotional competence, you must have emotional aptitude, you must be emotionally intelligent, you must know how to deal with emotions. Which emotion is correct, which is incorrect in a particular situation, expression of which emotion is right and wrong, this is very important to understand. So a civil servant must be emotionally intelligent, he must have emotional aptitude, or he must have emotional skills. Now, all the skills that you want in your civil servant, all the qualities which you want in your civil servant, these could be grouped and combined under these three headings. So, either moral or emotional or intellectual. So, essentially speaking, broadly speaking, these are the three types of traits, these are the three types of aptitude which a civil servant must carry. Okay. So, I hope I have made my point clear. So, in this particular lecture, we discussed about three things, which is the concept and meaning and definition of aptitude. Then we talked about the related concepts, and then at last we talked about the aptitude from the point of view of a civil servant. I hope this is clear now. So, this is it for this lecture. I will meet you in the next lecture. Until then, take very good care of yourselves. I am signing off. Thank you.